Hey everybody, good morning. Uh, I wanted to do a video this morning to kind of show you guys what I do. The first thing I do in the morning that helps me lead to to a successful day. It follows the same principle of, people say that successful people go and make their bed in the morning or do some sort of morning ritual that's productive, that helps them lead to a productive day and to a productive life. For some people, it's making your bed. For some people, it's meditation. For some other people, it's going out to feed the dog. For me, it's going out to feed the chickens. It's something simple and easy. That is my job. I go and do every single morning, and I would not be productive with my Chuckwagon or my life if I didn't do so. So this is just a video explaining, and this is what helps me lead to success. Doing this every single day is probably the cornerstone to my life, to the success of my life and success in my business. So this is a video I just kind of wanted to show you guys. So let's go feed the chickens. Okay, so I haven't been feeling that great lately. I've been going to bed around 8 o'clock and waking up at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Usually what I'll do for a couple hours, I'll think. I've been actually having trouble going to sleep because I've been worrying about stuff I wanted to talk to you guys about. My brain has been non-stop thinking of, this is what I want to say. These are the videos I want to do. These are things I want to do in the morning. It's not really helping me sleep. Well, anyway, there was a character in my other video I wanted to talk to you about. His name was McLovin. It was funny because he actually called me at 1 o'clock in the morning after he saw my introductory to the Chuckwagon video. And, no, not 1 o'clock in the morning. He called me 1 o'clock in the afternoon and talked to me. He's like, hey, I just saw your video. He actually gave me advice on, well, now the extension cord's on top of everything. I don't think you can see that well. But, yeah, you can. So basically this thread bar, he said I could go get a longer one at like Ace Hardware for probably about 15 bucks. All I have to do is get a wing nut and I'll secure everything. So that's something that's in my budget. I might do that today. But yeah, he was kind of calling me. He's like, I bought this bar. I got my cabaret license. And I'm waiting on my liquor license. I'm like, what? Your cabaret license? Your bar? What's going on? So I'm going to call him today. It's Monday, so he gets off work at, well, I used to work with him at Safe Taco, and at Safe Taco you're supposed to get off at like 2:30, but in reality they let you go at 2:15. So McLovin is really fast at cleaning up, so he's probably going to get out of there at like 2:20, 2:25. So, and he lives in Sun Valley, so it's probably going to take him 30 minutes to get there from where Safe Taco is. So he's probably going to show up at his house at like, I don't know, 2:45 to 2:50. So I'm going to give him a call at like around 3, probably a little bit after, so he has some time to walk through his front door and sit down for a bit. But that's something I wanted to talk to him about. He said he wanted to help me provide a depot for me. I don't think it's going to work because in Washoe, but I still want to talk to him and see like what his vision is. Personally, I think if he opens up a bar, he would be the perfect person to do that. I really think he'll succeed. Even if it is like a cabaret / bar, I think McLovin could work the bar and then his wife can manage the girls. I actually think he would be really good in that business. I think it's a statistic with bars that they're ran more like hobbies, because whatever bar owners put into the bar as far as money for license and taxes and inventory, all that kind of goes into the bar. And bars actually don't make that much money. They're kind of like hobbies. Owning a bar is kind of like owning a hobby. Although I think McLovin would be the exception. I think he'll do a really, really great job. And I think he'll be doing the world a favor. Not just himself, but the world. Because I think he'll be putting what he knows best, like his skills. For instance, I think I have the best skills to do the Chuckwagon. I think he has the best skill is to run a bar and cabaret, and I think he'll be doing us all a favor if he does that, not just himself, but the world. So I want to talk to him about it and see how he's going to go about that. So I'll have to feed the chickens. Alright, so I kind of staged this a bit. Since it gets cold at night, we like to put hot water in the chickens' water, because sometimes it freezes over. It's not that cold this morning, but it has been getting like 22 degrees at night, even colder for like 4 hours. So when that happens, the water tends to freeze in their bowls, and we like to pour hot water in so they can actually drink their water, because it usually freezes over and they get thirsty in the morning. But alright, so I'm doing this one hand, it's kind of hard. Alright, so here we are. Ew, disgusting. I flicked a piece of chicken poop on my thigh, and now it's stuck on my thigh, but I'll worry about that later. Okay. So these chickens, these are the normal chickens. We feed them feed pellets. So these aren't actually my chickens, these are my landlord's chickens, Mr. Gribble. So these are Mr. and Mrs. Gribble's chickens. So they like to feed them feed pellets because they think it's going to help them lay eggs. Oh, I think I get a good shot at that. So they think it's going to help them lay eggs. I don't think so. I've had chickens in the past, like on 2 separate occasions. Once when I was like, I think I was like 7 up to when I was 11, and then my other time was when I was like 13. So they like to give them lay pellets. See, the water isn't even frozen over. We didn't even need hot water, but I still need to fill up their bowls. So he thinks that giving them lay pellets is going to help them lay more eggs. I don't think so, to be quite honest. So there's 2 theories. The landlord's daughter, Necromancer, believes that if we give the chickens better habitation inside their coop, like if we put hay inside the coop, they're going to be more comfortable and lay more eggs. And Mr. Gribble thinks that if we give them feed pellets, they're going to lay more eggs. My personal opinion is kill them all and start over. I say that because these chickens are pretty old. The youngest chickens in here are like 6 years old, and these chickens are 8, like the ones in front of me right now. They're around 8 years old. They're past their prime. So I think if you want the max egg laying capacity out of these chickens, just kill them all and start over. These are my chickens, so I can't do that. When I get my own property, I'm gonna have chickens. But I don't, so that's for the future. I'll do a video on my plans for a house and all that. Personally, if I want to get a house, it's not going to be a house, it's going to be a commissary that's up and I'll live in, since I'm doing my food truck. That sounds more like a more realistic approach. Okay. So now on to the next one. These ones are the bantams. Mr. and Mrs. Gribble raised these bantams because they thought that bantams will sell, because they're just tiny chickens. They're kind of a niche thing to have. Their eggs aren't that big, so they're not really great for like egg eating. You can, but you're gonna need a lot more to get the same eggs. Oh, I forgot. 1 second. I'm talking, I'm forgetting what I'm doing. So these get the other feed. They don't get lay pellets. Stay gate. Stay. Okay, so they get from this container right here. Oh, look at all that. Okay, so you just scoop them up some. Put it in their little bowl. And dig through it. Have a good time. Alright, let's put this back over here. It's kind of hard to talk while I'm doing this because I don't usually talk while I'm doing this. It's kind of hard to do the camera, the phone. Okay, here we are. Oh, see, there's froze over. Look at that. Look at that. See, he's gonna peck at it. Oh no, there's a frozen underneath. I don't like sticking my hand in here because it's cold. Oh, almost. It wanted to freeze over, but it never did. Okay. All right, we're gonna put the hot water. There we go. That way it's more comfortable if they drink the water. They don't care, but I like to think it makes them care, especially when the water's frozen. What I'll do, I didn't get to show you, but I'll chip over the crust of the ice. I'll pour the hot water in, and over time, the hot water will dissolve the ice. And it will make the water more bearable. So that's something that I do. Alright, so that's basically feeding the chickens in a nutshell. I'm supposed to feed them sometime between 8 and 10 o'clock, but I like to feed them at 7:30 just because I'm usually up by then and I need something to do. Alright, so that's something I wanted to show you. I think that my life benefits from doing that. You know, it's something that allows me to be productive in the morning, and it kind of sets my day. Kind of sets me for success in the future by going out and feeding the chickens. So actually, on my YouTube channel, I don't actually have I have some views on my videos, but I have no subscribers. So if you could like, but most importantly, subscribe, that would be great. You know, this Mexican told me a saying one time about a pastor that built a church in the middle of a garbage dump. And as the story goes, the pastor felt like he was called by God to go out and start a church in the middle of a waste dump. And so he did. And he built the church and he started preaching in it. Of course, no one's going to show up. It's in the middle of a dump, but he keeps on preaching and preaching. All of a sudden, some people hear his sermons and they're like, "Oh wow, this is a really good preacher." They decide to go to his church in the middle of the waste dump. So the preacher just keeps on preaching and preaching. All of a sudden, the church is packed, you know. So the preacher's like, "Oh wow." So he just keeps on doing what he does best. Preaches and preaches, and all of a sudden, the trash gets cleared. And there's a town forming around the church. And it's all thanks to the preacher who felt like he needed to start a church in the middle of a waste dump. So the moral story there is keep on doing it even if nobody's there, and people will come. So that's my philosophy with this YouTube channel. And now here I am going to start the day. I'm probably going to do another video on that. And this sounds silly to do, but if I play with the YouTube algorithm and say, "Oh, how to install your thread to the thing," and make a video about that, I think I could mess with the algorithm and attract people to my channel if I do a how-to video. So my plans for today: expect a video daily, and I'll talk to you later. Ciao.